Welcome to another episode of Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition Homebrew Fate of Simarin, brought to you by HellFirePvP.
Woohoo!
So, we'll do some brief character intros and then a recap of last episode. And we will then commence with the celebrations and destructions, often both the same thing. So, we'll start off with the top right there, HellFirePvP.
Hi, I'm the DM and playing everything they are not playing today. Yeah.
Okay. And then straight down and to the left of that, we have, which, by the way, he does not have a camera currently due to, staying home and his camera being in a different place. So therefore, he is represented currently by a mind flare, which was art temporarily allowed by us to be displayed until such time that the camera can be here. Anyway, moving on down, we've got Nerevar.
That's me. And I'm playing as a goblin bard by the name of Quilby, who is a little bit stranded in this city and decided to follow this group of strangers.
Mm-hmm. And has recently found that he likes books. Nope.
Or books likes him.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, something along those lines. Okay, moving on.
The next to him, we've got Lyssa.
I am playing Sarren, who is a Furlbog druid. She is currently staying outside of the house because she doesn't like books. And she's very new to all of this city and weird magic stuff, so yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then next to her, we've got Kashcah.
I am playing Giya. She is a turtle barbarian.
Yes. Which, for those who don't know, turtle is a very large turtle-like creature. Anyway, myself, I'm Vallen. I'll be playing as Celes, a half-orc eldritch knight. And yeah, I think that's kind of the character recaps. So let's do a bit of the recap of previous episode, episode number 2, which this is episode 3, by the way. Last time we explored the house of Furnace, the person we were charged with trying to find. Starting on the ground floor, we found an entrance room with a tapestry or carpet hanging from the wall. Beyond that was a study-type room with a large chalice that had been used to burn something, possibly paper. There was also a storeroom containing some foods and spell components. Also a kitchen, a large room with a dining table and some other furniture. We had explored all of these. More books animated, and a specter attacked us, strangely out of nowhere. It came through the walls. We also found some stairs down and explored the cellar. There were another destroyed room and a hidden room down there as well. In the hidden room, there was another chalice and a lot more books. It seems a lot of the stores and practiced magics were in fact, I believe, a bunch of spell components in massive stores. So, DM, anything that you want to pretty much top off on there?
No, I'm good. So yeah, you are... Sarren is still waiting up in front of the mansion, and you are down in the basement and still exploring around a bit. Mm-hmm. I believe we left off with you potentially shattering something in the barrel through all the sand.
Right.
And, yeah.
We were searching in the barrel, and I inserted the handle end of the glaive and smashed something while I was just checking to see if there was anything in there besides sand. Before I move on with that, though, we currently have... It happened again. We currently have... inspiration has been granted to a player by our chat, and that is gifted to Kashcah. So Giya now has inspiration, which has yet to be determined exactly by Hellfire what that might represent, whether it be just to anything or what, but that is for you to decide, sir.
Oh, I would go with just standard bardic inspiration, and that one as a D8.
Okay, a D8. There you go.
Cool.
So, I was digging around in
the perfect icon.
There is a snail icon.
Oh my god.
Why are you doing this to me, Roll?
It's nice. So
All right.
to answer briefly, yes, inspiration could be used in any way, shape, or form by the DM. So that is thus the life of the DM. They're allowed to manipulate just about anything they want. Anyway, so I was pushing around in there, and so I think we were trying to dump that barrel out gently, trying to see if we could figure out what it was so that I wouldn't smash it. And Giya and Celes were both kind of like pouring it into another empty barrel, if I'm not mistaken. That sound about right, Kashcah?
Mm-hmm.
So, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Why?
You're picking one barrel up and just dumping the entire contents of this sand barrel into the other one?
Very slowly, hoping to catch what might be buried within it.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, you lift it off and slowly begin to pour the sand into the other barrel. And at first it's just like sand just coming out, and then you notice that whatever you like apparently shattered, there are a lot of glass splinters coming out, and potentially the other, like 1/3 of the lower end was just filled with small shards or bigger planes of glass. So you're just dumping the sand out, and it just mixes more and more with splinters and pieces of glass.
Did it look like there was any kind of liquid? Or if it was just the glass? Like, is the sand
you're
wet?
pouring the entire thing out?
Slowly, but yes.
Yeah, as you continue, you don't really notice any like liquids or it pouring out with it or it being wet.
Okay. It seems strange. I guess as we finish, Celes would take the sand barrel and just tip it straight on its side so that all the sand and glass comes out. And then she would start using her mending spell to try and repair the glass. Provided all the parts are there. It would take her some time, but she's going to focus in on that. I don't know what the others might do.
How exactly does mending work again? Like, does it try to come together what it was before, if everything's there, or what it has available?
It repairs a single break or tear in an object you touch. This is for a 1-minute casting, such as a broken chain link, 2 halves of a broken key, torn cloak, or a leaking wineskin. As long as the break or tear is no larger than 1 foot in any dimension, you mend it, leaving no trace of the former damage. It can physically repair a magic item or construct, but the spell can't restore magic to such an object. And often people have asked, can it repair things, that like are missing part or something? No, everything would actually have to be there. So it would be probably a lengthy process for her to try and do that, but I'm guessing she's just trying to get some of the larger pieces so she can get an idea of what it was that she just broke.
So yeah, you're gonna cast that, and you notice that some pieces of the glass are forming to kind of like a vial, like 1/2 of a vial that is by itself like half broken. And other pieces of glass seem to form into different shapes, one being a kind of like a glass pane, but that's like kind of also broken in pieces, so you get the idea that not everything's actually there. But it's different things, and yeah, it seems like they're not fully there, whatever it is.
Okay. She kind of stops at one point and says it looks like it wasn't just one glass item, it was several, and I don't know that everything was actually there to begin with. These might have been used goods. I can't remember if we'd finished searching the rest of this room. I think we'd searched through the books and whatnot, because I've got several books on me.
Yeah, I think you looked through it. Yeah. Yeah, you picked up a couple books over the course of going through things.
Should never pick up books.
Mistake.
We're gonna be sleeping in a camp and like get attacked by books.
So far we destroyed one barrel, right?
Well, there was one.
In this room. Yeah, you looked, like you opened and sanded through one barrel, and the other two were empty. That is what we already had last week, I think, or 2 weeks ago. My notes don't disappoint me.
I don't know that we looked in the barrels in the room across the hallway. I can't remember if we'd checked those ones. Ones with the in the room with the secret passage.
Well, you certainly can if you want to.
In here?
Yeah, no. You can if you want to.
So she's gonna travel over there and take a peek in those barrels and see what she can find. Because I think we already searched everything else, though.
What are the others doing? Giya and Quilby?
I'm going to kind of follow behind her.
Yeah, me too. And then I'm just rushing. Hey, wait! Are you trying to demolish more barrels?
So far, I haven't found any that are really intact very well. Or at least the contents. And she tries opening each of them.
The lids come off pretty easily, and you notice that none of them actually have anything in them.
Oh.
Oh.
Are there any remains in the barrels of what they used to contain?
A second. You can give me an investigation.
Great.
You really look through them and kind of lean into some of them, trying to get see at the bottom if you can spot anything. There's nothing really sticking out, and it's also pretty dark in here. You're only having the light from your torch, or no, you have dark vision, right?
I do, but that still only shows up as black and white in dark places, or shades of gray.
I would have a torch, though.
She does.
Because I don't have dark vision.
Nope, but you don't notice it, or you don't notice anything out of the ordinary. It just seems empty.
So would I be correct in assuming so far that we've found what looks to be a whole bunch of exhausted supplies of magic ingredients? The two
you're trying to from all the barrels you kind of found around the house and the general contents of crates and so on. You can give me an intelligence check to try to kind of piece together if those things can be used for magic things. Well, the content seemed kind of odd and kind of random at times.
Yep.
But from kind of thinking about one or two things, like especially what you found together with Giya up top in the storage room. It seems that most of these things were primarily stored for being used in either trying to come up with spells or trying to refine spells. So yeah, most of them were probably meant to be used for as spell components.
Okay. All right. So she says that I'm not finding anything else down here. How about anybody else?
I'm gonna take a quick sweep around the room.
I mean, in the room you're in, you've kind of like moved the shelf to the side, so because you were going into the hidden room down below, and well, you want to just like what are you looking for?
Perhaps maybe for some notes, whatever clues that might be suggesting what exactly was done here.
Well, when you and Celes and Giya were in the room down, like in the kind of hidden room below, you get the idea that there was some magic being tested there, especially in the chalice where you found like kind of like something was burnt and there were kind of like splinters of some gems. But yeah, you kind of like had a peek into or you can have a peek into the notes that are still lying around, but that just seems like arcane gibberish. And so, I mean, yeah, so get the idea that someone probably tested something magical up down here and it either worked or didn't work. You're not too sure.
Curious to know if it's the cause of all of the flotsam everywhere.
that was very helpful.
I mean, you can try and are you proficient in Arcana?
No.
I mean, you can try to discern something from the notes you found on the work desk with an Arcana check, but probably gonna be like
gibberish.
Probably gonna be a bit over your head, but I mean, you can try if you can pick up some lines. It really sounds like a lot of gibberish and just things being thrown together randomly, or just random squiggles and lines on the pages.
Yeah, I have no idea what's going on here. This house is wrecked, and we yet to found anything of value or anything that would help us find this guy.
Well, the only other place that I know of we haven't checked, or at least I haven't checked, is the back of the kitchen. Oh no, wait, the back of the kitchen led down here. I'm trying to remember the map from last time. Strange though that we found animated books and some kind of spirit here. And evidence of, well, a struggle at the very least, but I don't know if that was involved in from previous animated objects. Were there empty books, like they had been defeated or whatever before, like laying around before we created more empty books?
In which room or where do you?
Where we've fought the books before, basically. Just like in some of the main piles. Does it look like some of those could be previously animated books?
I mean, they were kind of like laying around a bit scattered, not really on the floor, but just like a bit on the table and where you were in his kind of like side study. There were like 4 or 5 lying on the ground, and the rest was like either on his work desk or inside shelves. So it didn't really look too unordered, and the few you picked up and went through seemed to be like not empty or of previously book killed types.
Okay. Just going through the different things that I've collected so far. And nothing really that useful. So, I don't suppose that my my familiar has spied any people returning to the docks area that weren't just guards, and has decided to fly back to us, has she?
You don't really like you have no sense of your familiar nearby. So
Okay.
I mean, besides it being like regular as a token, no, unfortunately not.
Okay. And she's going to say, I don't have any further information that I think I could glean from this place, and unless anybody else comes up with another idea, perhaps, I don't know, is there a back door or yard to this house? We have yet to see if there's anything exterior, I suppose. We just kind of went straight in. Perhaps we should head upstairs then. She starts moving towards Giya at the door.
Okay. Yeah, I'll move out the way.
And she'll say, Sarren, we're going to head upstairs now. Are you coming? Oh, wait. You are.
I'm upstairs.
You
I was
are
just down
upstairs.
there.
I forgot. Okay, you're just down there to see what.
I've been
up with
picking
us.
flowers and druid crafting rings of flowers everywhere.
All right. So then
All
we
right,
head.
so we are moving up top.
Yes.
Woohoo.
Ooh. Oh, yay.
Sarren, as you are kind of like waiting there for quite a while actually, and you notice it's like it's pushing like later in the afternoon, and you're just going around like the front area of the house, kind of like picking a few flowers here and there, and you notice like the few people that walk by give you like some suspicious looks, and they're like not sure what you're doing there, or like they're just not really sure what's up there.
Some furbolg
And
just parked out on the front porch in the rich neighborhood.
so you're getting like occasionally the weird look from those walking by.
I just smile and wave. Okay.
The new gardener.
Yeah. I'm gonna open the front doors and kind of yell, Are you guys coming back anytime soon? Are you dead? I mean, did books eat you?
That is a good question.
Yeah, that's gonna be. Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna hear you.
No, I know you're not gonna hear me. I'm just yelling, just like maybe you are close or something.
Start stomping on the ground.
All right, so you emerge from the stairs.
Okay. trying to remember what we had found in some of these other book piles. It's just books after books after books. There was a bedroom here. I hadn't gone in there yet. I know that Quilby did. So
I have found nothing of value.
Did you make any sense of the books in here? Like these stuff?
no. Please have a try though.
Oh, I'm not going to do any better.
You mean in here?
Oh, no. I was meaning like here.
Sorry,
Are
I'm
are
zooming
talking to me?
Anybody.
in.
Hey, maybe I am the most articulated goblin that you know, but I ain't that smart.
She said it looked like arcane incantations, but I couldn't tell you what it was, if I remember properly.
You weren't really sure what it was. It was either like from what you could glean, it was either like creating something or imbuing something. But nothing really specific stood out.
And you had spent a while searching through all the crates in here. Was there anything in there of interest? Not necessarily. I'm sure there was nothing of value.
Food.
I mean, there was like some slowly decaying food to the misery of Giya. But like from now, you could kind of like remember it was probably spell components or parts that could have been used in spells or in arcane.
It's fairly large quantities of those, I think.
Yeah. But yeah.
I suppose it makes sense if somebody's making a teleportation circle. I mean, I'm not entirely sure what's involved in that, but I'd imagine it's not an easy task, or else, you know, everybody's house would have one. So,
all right, I'm gonna head over here and start moving furniture. Hey, we found something behind the other bookcase.
Yep. I would like to re-explore the bedroom.
I'm gonna start looking behind furniture for.
You're just taking it and throwing it to the side, or?
Oh, I will. Like, this is a bookcase, right? Like, I'm just gonna drag this like out of the way and look behind it.
All right. So you kind of like take it and try to drag it away, and you are greeted with a stone wall behind.
Okay. Is this a crate?
It's pretty bad to see. Yeah, that would be a crate.
I do the same thing with that, and then I'm gonna do the same thing with the desk.
Yeah, it is a nice wooden floor and a stone wall.
Okay. Once I've got everything kind of drug out of the way, I'm gonna search that area. Make sure I didn't miss anything.
Oh, it didn't really ping, or I don't.
Oh, like I'm gonna search like the walls and floor, like.
Oh, so just giving you a general look around.
Yeah. Just like I just want to be meticulous, you know. Like I'm convinced that we'll find something in here, so I want to do a thorough search.
Give me an investigation check.
I mean, find something in the house, I guess. Like not specifically this room, but.
Yeah, just giving it like a general look around in the house.
Okay.
Well, in the room you're currently in, you just find a couple books that were like either already kind of like falling out of the bookshelf from before, have fallen out from you moving it, or the two books that are now lying on the ground that were previously somewhat animated. In the dining hall, well, there were two more slain books and a lot of rubble or like wooden splinters being all around in the one corner. A couple of books, specifically, get this one. right? Specifically on the crates and stuff, there are a couple books here. And yeah, the general kitchen area, you find a pretty empty shelf here, and a table with a couple drawers and a bowl here. But yeah, it doesn't really anything doesn't really stick out to you as being unusual or
Okay.
trying to hide something or something being put behind crates or behind shelves, so to speak.
Okay.
Celes would like to reinvestigate the bedroom. Specifically, if this is a bed, she's going to check the mattress and under the mattress. She's going to inspect the weapons on here. Lastly, she's going to check out the bookcase.
The bookcase, there are a couple gaps, and there's a couple books lying on, just lying opened on the table.
Yeah.
The weapon rack doesn't look too unusual. There's two long swords being just stuck in there. You're trying to, and as far as the bed is concerned, you're just trying to lift the mattress and looking under it and around.
See if there's anything tucked into the mattress or in the pillowcase.
Porn collection.
Yeah. I'm looking for I'm looking for the guy's porn collection basically. So.
You don't really find a collection of interesting images. But underneath the pillow, you find a small dagger.
A small dagger. Does it seem unique? Or just something to stab people with that surprise him while he's sleeping?
From what you can take in from a glance, it just looks like a normal dagger.
Okay. Interesting. I look at the books that are on the table, see if I can determine what they're about. Picking them up, checking them out.
They seem about just random things. The first one talks about herbs and flowers, and kind of their taste incense. Bless you.
Excuse me, that's also the dust.
We are kicking up a lot of dust in this house.
A lot of dust, yeah. Second one talks about general just scenery and forests and stuff. The third one is just a collection of images that depict seemingly just minerals, and just some sketches. But yeah, they just seem to talk about a variety of things.
Okay. And she'll actually stick her hand into the bookcase and slide the books back and forth just to see if there's anything, behind them. If there's something.
At some point, Giya walks in and just tries moves the bookshelf a bit to the front.
Yep.
And looks behind.
Yep.
And just pushes the bookshelf back and leaves the room without saying anything.
And she's perfectly fine with that. Okay.
I'm gonna go park myself in front of this mural tapestry carpet thing. Just kind of.
Sarren, you notice Giya appearing from this from one of the from the doors to the hallway, and just kind of approaches the tapestry and just stands there looking at it.
I'm actually just gonna sit down and I'm just kind of staring at it.
I'm like, oh, are y'all done? Are we leaving? What's going on?
So, we haven't found anything. No clues, really.
That's a good thing?
Doesn't give us anything to find them. I'm just trying to remember, like, where I've seen this thing before. Can you describe it to me again?
Right. Give me a second. Too many notes. Right. It depicts a larger, seemingly singular mountain to the somewhat right side of it, and a relatively lush and thick forest as like the front, lower front half, where like the mountain kind of like sticks out of. And generally on the back side of it, there's just a kind of faded out mountain line. So yeah, and the forest itself seems to be a bit higher in places and a bit lower in other places. Yeah.
I'm gonna come in and sit next to her and look at it.
Say, do you recognize this at all?
I'll like kind of sit there and stare at it really hard, like.
Celes comes in. Did you find something with the tapestry? And she just is looking confused.
I would like to note we had this last time as well.
Yeah.
And we tried to glean from where it was from last time. Giya, that investigation was regarding.
That was
around.
like the general
Right.
one for the house. Yeah.
Trying to remember where you could have seen this from would be intelligence, less investigation. You can investigate it if you want to, like find out stuff about the tapestry itself. It was like if it was tampered with or something.
We're awesome.
It looks really pretty. You have like not really an idea, like you have the idea that you could have seen it before.
It's that forest. I'm like, it makes me home.
But right now it just looks really pretty.
Is there something about this tapestry that you found useful? Celes says, like hesitantly, of course.
No.
It's got lots of yummy leaves. It looks like home.
I thought I recognized it. But now I think it just looks nice.
Celes comes over, stands over here. Quilby, do you know this place? She points to the tapestry.
Let me try. I'm just gonna squint my eyes. Oh god, I suck at intelligence. I said I was articulated, not necessarily. Sorry, that was insight. Intelligence.
Not really. It like this view also doesn't really look familiar to you, Quilby. So unfortunately, no. But it's like a really nice tapestry, and it looks really pretty.
Celes gives
I
it.
walk over to it and like pull it like a corner of it, and I'm like, well, it's really nice. See if I'm like, it's nicely made.
Celes gives it one last think, and then says, "I don't remember it. This place seems foreign to me." Well, I don't think that I have much more in my investigation here. Or at least I don't think that I have any further things to add. There was more at the warehouse. More interest at the warehouse, at least. We found some signs of somebody studying some magic and storing things. It all seems pretty straightforward with someone who's set up to do the magic circle incantation, except for the animated books the spectre, and a lot of broken things everywhere, which kind of lines up with the animated books. So, it appears that our target, Furnace, is he was exactly that, a target for someone else, and they may have sent these animated books as a trap against him. He may have set them up for intruders in his place. I found a dagger under his pillow.
Celes, give me a intelligence check.
Okay. That's a
What's a
save.
save?
Let me try a check. Hold on.
Oh, you're not saving yet.
What do you mean yet?
Nothing.
It might do it twice. Roll 20 is... I clicked it and it's not doing anything, so I'm going to wait a moment. Alright, I'm gonna try clicking it one more time. We'll see what happens. Oh no, there it goes. There you
go. Either way, that would have worked. You remember Aaron originally telling you that when they went through the warehouse and his mansion, that nothing was really out of the ordinary. So they didn't really pick up on anything strange or stuff. And as you remember asking, like what, like that he had to do and report and so on, he didn't really mention anything like as you've experienced it.
Yeah, sadly, Celes doesn't think that he reports things properly, or he might not have even entered this property at all. But she does intend on having words with him.
But maybe this is stuff that's happened after, right? So maybe Aaron visited first and it was all fine and nothing was weird, and this has now happened after that.
Were there any other entrances to the house besides the main front doors? The glass window doors at the back?
There were like was a really large glass window to the diagonal side of the dining room.
Okay.
And there were a couple windows around the house, but none of them seem like either an entrance, nor were they smashed or destroyed.
Okay. So she says, I guess we've got as much information as we can, but I think we should probably report back to the offices of the Hand and see what they have to say, because this doesn't line up with Aaron's report, which, albeit not the best report I've had, doesn't seem to agree with what we found. I wonder if he even entered any of the properties. Probably at least walked into the one across the street from the Hand office. But perhaps along the way we can stop and get you something to eat as she talks to Giya. I know that you were asking for some food earlier. Did you find what you were looking for?
No.
Okay. Then she suggests that we leave.
All right.
Great. I don't mind visiting the tavern.
All right. So, you leave Furnace's mansion, and it's pushing like into really the late afternoon, kind of like getting close to evening in a couple hours, or like getting to evening in a couple hours, and yeah, I'm just gonna move over to the city view. And so, where do you wish to go?
I guess you'd say maybe she would suggest that we stop off at the Hand office and then hit a place to eat while we discuss further strategies after we discuss with them what we've found. What do you think?
Giya nods her head.
How about you? And she looks over at Sarren. Does that sound all right for you? I doubt there will be any more books.
Yeah, that sounds great. As long as there's not any more books anywhere in sight right now.
Quilby, did you want to join us as well? I know you had previous entertainments that you were interested in doing along the way.
I assume there is our reward for this fairness guy.
Well, we're currently being paid as part of an investigation.
Sure, if you don't mind, I will tag along.
All right. So then we'd like to go to the Office of the Hand in the Silver Road District.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Somewhere over here.
Yeah, it's somewhere generally over there. So yeah, you kind of like leave the High Bridge district and get down to like the city, like down from the hill and cliff side of things down to the actual city below. And you can still see like 2 or 3 guards standing there, like letting you pass through as you're coming down from the kind of like elevated area.
Mm-hmm.
And you make your way through the Silver Road, and it's gotten quite a bit like darker, and there's, as you've noticed, quite a lot more people around. They don't really seem busy. They're just like walking by, being kind of relaxed, chatting, usually in pairs or groups of people. And you also come by a small place. There is like a little wooden sign, kind of like dangling in front of it, that says Arles Delicacies. I'm not sure if I pronounced that correctly.
Arles Delicacies?
Delicacies, thank you.
Okay.
And yeah, you like kind of like glance into it, and there's a couple tables with chairs, and there's quite a lot of people in there, and
Okay.
it seems really bustling. Also, a couple people standing in front and talking. So you're walking by.
Okay. Perhaps we stop there on the way back.
Right. Giya is like, it doesn't matter if you guys keep walking, she's like turning into the...
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Or perhaps we make a side trip now. She'd follow you.
As you're getting a bit closer, the smell is also like very strong, and it smells delicious. You're not really sure what it smells like, but it's a really intense smell, and it almost like draws you in. It smells really nice. So yeah, you all like kind of stop by, or
I'm going.
like you're entering as well, or is only Giya and Celes entering?
No, I'll follow.
So yeah, it is a relatively large establishment. There's a couple tables lining the sides, and they're just also a bit like scattered around almost. So it doesn't really seem like they have a lot of order to the tables. There is surprisingly a lot of people in here. Not all of them seem to actually sit. A couple of them are just also standing at the tables. And as you enter, you're comparatively very large to the other people in there. And so the on the far side, you can see kind of like a counter of sorts, and one of them just like you see a human standing on the other side of the counter and just shouts like, hey, hello, You wanna like have something to eat?
Yeah, nods her head enthusiastically.
And he just like waves you over to
Okay.
like kind of like, yeah.
All
It's
right.
hard to make gestures if you don't have a camera.
I
I
follow
just
as
noticed.
well.
So yeah. And as you all approach, he just kind of like shoos the couple people that are sitting at the counter, kind of like shoos them away. And surprisingly, they all very quickly leave the chairs
Okay.
and make space for you.
Hmm.
All right. Giya looks a bit like uncomfortable with that.
Celes realizes she still has her glaive on her. She kind of like lays it down on the ground and scoots it up to the desk, the edge of the table, so that it's not this giant weapon.
What are you trying to find out, Nerevar? Quilby?
It's very suspicious that they cleared out space for us that this quickly. With such large mob inside.
And you keep you're not like from just a glance you're not really sure why they did it, but like you kind of follow them and keep an eye on them for a second, and they all just seem to like get to the side and kind of like form a little group, and then just slowly try and to the side of like between. Okay, as you enter, there is like a window side to the left and some windows to the front, and they're just like trying to make their way on the right side, relatively close to the wall, and try to either just mix into the other people and just generally try to get out of the establishment. Yeah.
I'm just gonna look around. I'm like, where are all the people going?
It is only these 4 or 5 people that were previously there. The rest is still being very busy amongst themselves, and it's pretty noisy in here.
Okay. I take a seat if I can, or if my turtle butt is too big for the chairs, then I'll just stand.
I mean, the chair would definitely like make noises of being under a lot of pressure, but it still holds up.
Okay.
So yeah, as you are now getting closer, you can kind of like get a better look on the person, and so it's a human male, just like relatively short, straight black hair, and he's just like kind of like reaching his hand out very quickly and says like, hello, my name is Walter. What can I get for you? And he just like speaks really quickly.
I just kind of like look around at what other people are eating, like other people's plates or whatever, and if I see some, I'll pick whatever looks tastiest and point at it and say some of that.
All right. As you like kind of like look to the right, as there are still 2 people sitting a bit further to the right on the counter, there's like one table with really good looking fish and a bit of salad to the side. And as you're looking a bit further, there's a kind of like mixed salads and fruits, and it looks very delicious. It looks very fresh, and yeah, it's really, really great.
I point at the salad and fruits and say, some of that, please.
And he kind of like looks a bit over and tries to see what you're pointing at, and says like, yes, of course. You have been here before? And he gives you a bit of a look over.
Celes is pulling up a chair next to her.
Giya shakes her head no.
Right. I suppose you have the necessary funds for this? And
Giya
again, looks at Celes and Giya specifically.
Yes.
I say,
All right.
do you
All
have
right.
Are you
price
poor,
list?
poor shaming?
And he kind of like takes a step back and says like, no, of course not. Well, we'll be it will be prepared right away. And he kind of like just bolts to the side and into like through a half open door into the back area.
Celes looks over at Giya and says, "What did you do to scare him off?"
I said, that wasn't me. That was Quilby.
Strange. I was looking forward to ordering something.
I'm gonna start walking around like to people's tables, and I'm just looking at what they're eating. I'm like, what is that? Who are you? Just kind of like asking questions.
As you're looking around, Sarren, you find a lot of different foods being served. A couple just seem to have like a bit of small snacks and what seem to be like small breads, small round breads, and a bit of salad, bits of meats, and fishes. And it all looks incredibly tasty. They are like, as you're asking them, they don't seem to pay you a lot of mind. And are either just focused on eating or chatting with their the people they are there with them, like in their groups and friends and stuff. So yeah, a couple of them do answer you and are just like saying like, "Oh, the fish of the day," and just the usual stuff, or similar answers. It doesn't seem like they're paying a lot of mind.
Okay. I guess I'll walk back to everybody else, and I'm just standing there looking around. I'm like, everybody's eating so many different things. It all looks good.
And at that moment, the Walter comes back from the back through the door, and has like one large plate with just salads and couple apples and other fruits stacked on top of it, and it almost looks like a bit shiny and just really fresh, and just places it in front of you, Giya.
Giya like hesitates for a moment and then just like hand in and it's like starts eating.
Yeah, it is. It is pretty great, and it tastes really, really well. So it feels like, yeah, this is probably the best stuff you've eaten in months and months. And yeah, I will need you to make me a charisma saving throw.
And while she's doing that, I'm gonna look around, and I see apples on her plate, and I reach in my pouch and pull one out. And I'm like, I just shrug my shoulders and eat my apple that I have in my pouch.
I have a -2 to my charisma saving throw.
Nice, very nice.
That's a good roll.
Right, with a -2, I feel quite proud of that.
Yeah, you feel like this food is really amazing, and you kind of like stop for a second and like this tastes probably a bit too well, and just look around for a second and just cautiously continue eating.
Before I continue eating, this moment of hesitation is kind of like, I don't know, something doesn't quite seem right. So I'm gonna use my detect magic ability.
I think you've exhausted it for the day.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna go to
I'm-
sleep quick.
I'm sure that was used.
Yeah, it was. You're right.
Time.
I haven't
So
used
sorry.
mine. But
Yeah.
Hmm.
mine's a racial ability, but still, I'm just like looking around. Can I like kind of? I don't know. It'd be hard for me to figure out if people are acting really weird or not. I guess because I've never really been around people like this.
Hmm. Hmm.
But I guess I could try to, see if something might seem off to me.
Hmm.
Meanwhile,
I mean-
Celes is all like, "Can we order? Where are you?"
I
Get
mean,
back
you've
here."
dealt with a couple people, so it's not like you've never talked to anyone or haven't been
Right.
to a city. You've been around a bit in your journey. So you can tell that these people pay you all a bit less mind, and like they are paying a bit less attention, and are just generally more focused to themselves and whoever they are with. So yeah, you kind of have an idea that something might be a bit off.
Okay. Where's the guy, the bar guy?
Oh, he's still around. He's just generally keeping an eye on everything and going about a few tables and picking up plates.
Is there any way I can sneak by, like into the back?
The back door is like really visible, so it's only the counter, and then there's like a bit of space, and then there's basically the back door, so you would be seen. Most likely.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just use my detect magic for
Right.
mine since I haven't used it. Might as well.
Mhm.
I'll get close to everybody and kind of do my thing and just kind of look around.
Yeah, you detect the School of Enchantment.
Enchantment.
I reach
Oh, that was
across.
the different one.
Yeah, I reach over and I push the plate of food away. I'm like, don't eat any of that. Something's not right here, and I don't know about you, but something's weird with this.
Celes says,
I
"Well,
just shake
yes,
my
it's
head,
the
don't eat that."
service. It's terrible here. I mean, they serve one person at a table. What they're ignoring the rest of us. How do they maintain a customer base?"
Now during
I
this
just-
time, Walter is like kind of like walking by a couple times. Like he seems pretty busy, and so yeah.
Yeah, I just say we need to leave. There's something wrong in here. Don't eat any of that food, and we need to go.
I say, I kind
Yeah,
of
but-
already did.
Sure, but we need to pay for it.
Don't. I just shake my head.
Yeah. From the bit of food you've eaten, you feel pretty good. Like it tasted really well, and you feel like pretty, like it was like pretty excellent stuff. You also gain 5 temporary hit points.
I eat more.
Wow.
So this is like, are you just feeling uncomfortable about this place? I know you're not familiar with cities as much. I mean, this is somewhat standard, albeit the service is lacking. Walter, okay. And she sees.
Yeah,
And Walter just comes by and says, "Like, is everything all right? Can I help you with something?"
Well, the rest of
What
us.
do you want to
wanted
order?
The rest of us wanted to order.
No,
Oh,
we
yeah,
don't.
sure.
We do not. No. I just shake
No?
my head. No,
Is anything that matter?
no. We need to go. We're running late. We need to go.
She's like,
Oh,
I'm just
okay.
like pulling at everybody. I'm like, come on,
she's
we
like,
need to
we'll
leave.
get something at the hand office then. I'm sorry. Can I just get the bill, please? How much is it?
I just rummage in my pouch and pull out a gold coin and slam it on the bar. I'm like, okay, we're done. We
Oh
need
my
to go.
gosh.
And he kind of raises his finger. That was our delicate assortment of fruits and salads. That would be 4 gold coins, please.
Gosh, okay.
So if we're paying for it, right, then Giya is loading her pockets up. So she's just like fruit, like in the pockets.
I've got 99 vest pockets right now that can fit more. No. So Celes would pull out 3 more gold coins and put them on the table and say, "Your prices are exorbitant and your service is lacking." And she just kind of stands up and pushes the chair away, leaving the glaive there.
And he just like kind of like looks confused and is not sure what went what's
went wrong?
And it's just like, and as you're like turning around and I'm going to leave, he says, I'm very sorry if it wasn't," and he just like stammers a bit, and as you're just ignoring him more or less, he just continues his work.
And as soon as she's outside, she then summons the glaive to her hand. She just doesn't want to carry a reach weapon.
But it's fine, like zooming through the.
No, it just it teleports. It doesn't zoom.
As soon as we get out of the door, I'm like, "Well, his prices are high because he has to pay for components for the enchantment that he has on your food." And I just kind of say, "Let's go."
Wait, are you saying
the city is overwhelming?
Are you saying that
you know that there's like a lot of like people just generally still around the establishment, and there's a couple people entering and occasionally a couple people leaving, so yeah.
I say it kind of loud because we're like right by the entrance. No filter, don't even care that there's people around. I'm just like, yeah, it's to pay for enchantments for that food that you just bought.
Says, well,
to pay for components, I should say.
Magical influenced food isn't beyond the realm of, what this city might have to offer. I mean, admittedly, I wasn't anticipating that it would be enchanted food, but
Giya looks in her pockets, like hearing that it's enchanted food. She's just kind of like, "Is it still there?" Like she's just like looking in her pockets,
and it still looks pretty good.
She might nibble on it. Well,
I just shake my head. I said, "I don't trust anything here."
She says, "Are you able to discern if it's a harmful magic?" I can't say that I would be able
to.
Shake my head.
I don't think detect magic can do that much.
Yeah, no, it can't. I just shake my head and I said, "Well," I kind of poke Kashcah. I'm like, "Well, she's okay so far."
I feel even better than I did before, Giya says. Eating more.
I just shrug my shoulder, like, okay.
It's possible that that's how they got such good ratings and everybody enjoys the place with such poor service. Got some kind of enchantment encouraging people to give them good reviews.
It's the Yelp enchantment.
Yep.
The 5-star.
Yep. What was the name of the place?
Arless Delicacies.
Arless Delicacies. All right.
It's like, I need a comment card, please.
Let's head over to the hand headquarters.
I just like looking at Giya. I'm like, are you still feeling okay?
Mm-hmm.
How would you rate your experience then?
Tasty.
11 out of 10. Would taste again.
Would nom again. Yeah, sure.
So yeah, as you kind of follow down the streets, you notice that there is the one or the other establishment that is also open, and some have a little more people, some have a little less people around it. But yeah, you slowly make your way towards the office of the hand, I suppose.
Okay.
I hear no objection.
Yep.
All right.
Just looking up the latest name. It was Feely and Aaron, right? So, as we enter and see if Feely and Aaron are about.
So you approach the building and enter, and you don't see anyone currently being there. So the desk where you previously met Feely is empty. Like there aren't any folders or books still on there.
Okay.
And you don't see Feely.
Is there any like paperwork or anything laying there?
Not on the table there. There's 2 pieces of paper lying on the desk, like on the kind of counter behind her. And yeah.
Might actually try and get a glance at those before I call out that we're there. Just trying to make it look like I'm looking for Feely and Aaron, but in fact I'm just like,
there is currently no one there except you 4 that just entered. So you can definitely try getting a glimpse.
Okay.
One page you kind of glimpse over and read that there has been vandalism, or well, something seems to have been either broken into or just destroyed. The name is of some utensils. The first part you can't really discern. And the second one being that there has been supposedly been some illegal shipment of illegal goods. As you like kind of read a bit closer, you notice you read that supposedly weapons or weaponry or war equipment has been smuggled through Menorahs and has been found further further in the country in Caleta. There has been apparently some letter being sent to Menorahs that informed of that.
Okay. With that, she'll call out to see if, Feely, Aaron, anybody at home? Hello. And obviously, there's nobody there.
And it takes a second. You wait a second, and from the door behind, like kind of behind the counter, Aaron comes out and says, like, hello, you're back. That's great. How was your day?
Very fun. Why don't you come have a chat with us?
Sure, give me a second. And he just vanishes back into the back room. And
she listens very intently to ensure that she can still hear him bustling about in the back room and not just escaping out the back door.
Give me a perception check. Oh, wow.
Very intently.
Yeah, you like really lean against the counter and try to listen what's happening back there. And you kind of like faintly hear a book being closed, being put in a shelf. And some movement back and forward. Something else being closed. And then as you just hear Aaron probably getting close to the door, kind of like hastily move back. And Aaron comes back from through the door and says, like, all right, so what's the matter?
She says, well, we investigated the 3 sites, and we found things inconsistent with what you had reported to us.
Oh, okay. And he kind of like looks confused and not sure what you meant.
She says, the first location we visited was, of course, the site of the teleportation circle. There was nothing out of sorts there.
Right, right.
We then went down to the docks and started searching for the warehouse that was known to be owned by Furnace. And
oh, right, okay.
we found that the interior had practically been exploded with different parts of books and shelves and whatnot.
And at this, like, when you said explode,
Mhm.
Erin's face kind of like turns from confused or not sure what you're talking about to just downright frightened. And he just like says, "Okay, do you know what happened?"
Yes, we then were attacked by some of the remaining books. Some
You
magics
were
had
attacked
animated them.
by books.
Yes.
I'm just like, books, they were everywhere. They would bite so hard.
Yes, I believe, Quilby, you still have the marks on your leg, don't you? Show the nice man your injury for what he owes you. As she gives you a wink. By the way, this is Quilby. We met him along the way. He's been most helpful.
Pleasure.
Sure. And he just like takes in the small goblin and like is not really sure what to make of this, but kind of just nods.
Says, anyway, we ran into several questionable areas there, but we proceeded on to Furnace's manse and found the place in a shambles as well.
More books. There was more books.
Yes. In fact, we also ended up experiencing the wonders of a spirit was decided to come up from the depths and attack us on sight in his house.
Erin just looks shocked. Like,
she says, yes,
like
that's
he's
precisely
still
our
listening?
response when we were there. Sorry, what did he say?
Like he's still listening.
Okay.
But doesn't really seem to like say anything. He's just standing there and just staring, kind of like being not sure what to make of it.
Okay. She said, we found evidence at both locations that there was lots of magical components that had or had not been consumed in lots of experimentation on what may or may not have been successful magics, as well as a secret basement or cellar below the manse house.
A secret basement?
Yes.
Kind of. Okay. Well, when we made our round through his mansion, we didn't really see anything out of the unusual. Overall, a very clean and tidy mansion. Sure, he had a fable to store his magical components in his house, so it was overall a lot of things being around, and like he's just nervously trying to
Like, gee,
recall what
for people who do
happened.
this for a living, y'all didn't investigate very well.
Well, Celes then would say how some of the doors in the manse or mansion looked like they had been recently repaired or replaced as well.
I do not recall anyone being tasked with this, and he just like kind of backs up a bit, and well, when we had our investigation, everything seemed kind of okay. We didn't find any secret in the basement room you mentioned.
Yeah.
But well, overall, it was it wasn't really in shambles. You put it.
Yeah, I was about to say I'd like to try and figure out,
Yeah,
just like
you
Lyssa
definitely
is.
can as well if you want to.
Okay.
I'm gonna get really close to him, as close as I can, and look at him. I'm gonna look at him from the side.
Don't you want to do intimidation?
I'm just like staring at him really close, just standing real close to him, looking at him, like making him nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just would like to get something straight.
Well, first of all, Sarren, you notice he seems very nervous, and he seems like very put on the spot, but he seems genuine. Like he desperately tries to recall what they went through. It was already like 1 or 2 weeks ago. He doesn't really remember it fully because he didn't like put much mind into it. They were just like going through from what he said. But you don't really discern any attempt to like hide anything or yeah. So as Aaron tries to recall things, Quilby, what are you trying to do?
I'm just trying to squeeze more information from this guy. Let's see.
Well, how or trying to talk to him or
Yeah, pretty much.
well, he kind of like says like, well, that's what happened. I'm not sure what you want to hear. I mean, and he just like kind of takes another step back, tries to like right himself, and is like, all right. So we went through his mansion. There was nothing unusual. Seems very well. It wasn't totally clean. It was somewhat clean. And the warehouse was just 3 shelves, kind of like stored there. They had some books in them. There was like some stuff there. I believe some armor he stores there, and that was it. Didn't find anything unusual. So I'm not sure what you guys saw.
How long ago was that? Was this investigation?
Probably a week or 2. I don't have the report at hand. If you want me to bring it to you.
Yeah, because we arrived at his mission. It was in just total wreckage inside.
Yeah. All right, give me a second, and he just like looks you all over and very quickly bolts to the back door, and you can hear a couple books falling out, and he
Take your time.
Seems really nervous and is now trying to find the report. So
Celes is just sitting perfectly still, waiting for his return.
So a minute passes by where you just hear frantic either movement back and forth or things falling out somewhere and just hitting the floor. And eventually he comes back out with like a couple, like a very small booklet, and he's just like, yeah, yes, I found it, and just holds it out to you, Quilby.
Yeah, thank you, but you take it easy. You're on fire. You might burn this place.
And he's just like, he's visibly shaking, and is like, I'm not sure. This, if you saw something different, I guess we should just. And he just like breathes through, and it's like,
Breathe.
I guess we will have to file a new report, and yes, right. So I will entrust this copy of the report to you, and if you'll be so kind, please. And he kind of like turns to you, says, and please, just write a new report, and we will, I guess, handle this properly. And he's just looking you all over.
Much obliged.
And he just like takes another breath and all right. I'm afraid Feely isn't here anymore. She went out already. So I guess this. Can I help you with anything else?
What do you know of that delicacies shop up the road?
Which one are you referring to?
It's a rather a restaurant along the road, and she describes its location.
And he kind of like thinks for a moment, and says, "Ah, you've been to Arles?
Yes.
Ah, right. That is a very fine delicacy shop, like pretty close to the nobles area, I suppose. Yes. They're very famous for their kind of like very special foods, and as far as I know, they try to enchant them a bit and make them taste really really well, and kind of like really bolster your strengths. And
Any,
they're
any,
trying to like make you relax and kind of enjoy
the,
yourself.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, this Giya
Um,
like reaches in her pocket and like grabs random vegetable and offers it to to Erin.
any rumors about possibly side effects?
well, and he kind of like tilts his head a bit and says, well, as far as I know, it kind of makes you really compliant to a lot of things. So they're pretty prone to, like, from what we've heard, people are very often robbed for leaving this place because they're not really paying attention to a lot of things, unfortunately. So it is safe to, if you go there, always have like someone who is still keeping an eye out on the rest. So
So it's
don't
just
go
like,
there alone.
I
That's
knew
a bad
it.
idea.
They robbed us.
And
Worth a silver at best.
well, and he kind of like says, like, well, they're doing pretty well financially. Let's put it like this.
Yes.
And occasionally, if they have like large reservations, they also hire the help of some of our knights. So they're pretty good business, and we didn't really have any big complaints about them.
Right. Well, good to know. Anyway, Giya brought you a snack. Here you are.
And he just like kind of like takes a couple steps back and says like, no, I'm fine, thank you. I need to have a clean mind and get my work done first.
Yeah, kind of shrugs and munches it.
All right. Well, let's have a look at this old report, shall we?
And Erin says like, is there anything else I can do for you, or is everything sorted?
When is Feely expected to return?
Tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Pretty early in the morning.
I believe that we had arranged for a place to stay, and we needed to return these keys that you loaned us.
Ah, right, the keys. And he just like holds his hand out. I suppose you've also locked everything again? Right?
No. Truth be told, I hadn't remembered.
Anything with value that wasn't bolted down was already stolen. So
Well,
and he
no.
just like, what do you mean stolen?
There's a tapestry. There was a few long swords, a dagger.
Ah, right, the tapestry. Very nice.
You know something about the tapestry?
It and he kind of like thinks for a second. Yes, it depicts a very nice view on Vengrat over the what's it called? Give me a second. No. Right. It depicts a very nice view over the entire jungle down in the southwest. Basically, almost over everything that the elves ruled about, and it is very pretty.
Okay.
And now that he says this, Giya, you remember this. You've like from your travels, you have kind of like had this a part of this view, and you definitely remember the mountain in the distance, and just looking over the forest and jungle areas, you kind of get the idea like, yeah, this was probably from around where you're from, but
Okay.
definitely like still a bit different. So it was higher up and like somewhat away a bit more, but yeah, somewhere around there.
Okay.
Says, I suppose there are some valuables there. Tell you what, I'll keep the keys and return them in a bit. I'll make a return trip. Wow, that is such a snooze.
Massive snoring behind me.
right here. So she says, but I believe we were expecting accommodation. Did you have any information about that for us?
And he kind of like looks a bit nervous. It's like, I'm not sure. Have you discussed this with Feely?
We did, yes.
And did she name you a place?
I can't remember personally.
Hang
like
on.
separate
It's in
from
my
the
notes.
character.
Hang on. Oh, please.
Oh, you remember the place?
Hang on. I have notes.
No. No.
Notes. Where the heck is it? Okay, no. I did not write it down.
Well, yeah, if you've made notes, Feely told you you would be paid for to stay in the Broken Thorn.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Near the docks.
Right.
Hey, that works.
And Aaron says, yeah, right. That is actually somewhere between in the docks area, somewhat close to the south gate, as far as I remember.
Is it alright if I just return the keys in the morning then, since we can swing back around those places and we have to come back and talk to Feely anyway? File this
Right.
report.
That would be great. Yes, thank you.
Alright. Okay.
All right.
So I guess we need to go back up to Highbridge briefly to lock the door.
Yeah.
And then back down to the docks to lock the door. Pick up Luna and find
The inn.
the inn. What's the name of it again? The Thorn?
Broken Thorn.
The Broken Thorn? I'm going to put that in chat because I'm going to forget. Okay.
So do you all want to make the round trip back up and lock the door and walk all the way down again?
I say, I'll do it. I'm just going to eat anyway.
Well, considering what Aaron just mentioned about having someone nearby when you eat that food, would you like some company? I'm in no rush.
I say, no, go find Luna. I'll catch up with you at the inn.
All right. And she hands her the key. She says, we'll lock up the warehouse then. We'll just meet you there. Anybody else coming with me or going with her?
I think I'll go with Giya.
I guess I'll go back to the warehouse. I'm like, I could use some more of those apples.
So she says,
All
well,
right. Then. So, Giya and Quilby, I think. You make your way back up to High Bridge to lock the door of the mansion.
Mm-hmm.
And Celes and Sarren, you make your way to the warehouses in the docks.
Correct.
All right. Yeah, Giya and Quilby, you make your way up to Highgate, to High Bridge. Not quite. There are still 2 guards positioned there, but they saw you coming back before, so they're kind of like fine with you just going back up there.
Okay. I just
And
give them the nod.
they just nod back and acknowledge you going up there. You find the house again, just put in the key, lock the door.
Before I lock it, I'm going to take the tapestry.
What the hell is this?
All right.
I say to Quilby, for the investigation, you understand.
All right.
Okay.
You're just taking it off and rolling it up.
Yep.
All right. You attempt to hide it as you're carrying it around, or just...
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
I'm going to like roll it and then kind of like try and fold it in half and then stuff it in my pack as best I can.
You know, just for your information, if we were going to go framed for a robbery, I'm bailing out.
I say, well, clearly it was missing before we got back here. Somebody must have taken it while the door was unlocked. Shameful.
You are now in possession of one very beautiful tapestry. And large tapestry.
And now I lock the door.
All right. And yeah, you make your way back down and to the docks where now Celes and Sarren go to. And halfway as you are from the Silver Road to the docks, Celes, you notice your familiar getting closer. And eventually Luna, like you can see Luna coming and flying on your shoulder.
Okay. And we share a telepathic bond, so says is someone arrived?
And you get the idea, no one arrived.
Okay.
And as you set her up, if you didn't arrive back by the evening, Luna would come to you instead.
So she just kind of like, scratches underneath the beak and gives her a little pet and some fuss along the way. And just kind of heads to the docks.
Yep.
Every intention of just locking the doors and then looking for the broken thorn.
Yeah, you arrive at the warehouse and lock it. And make your way trying to find the broken thorn. And you kind of like try go a bit around and try to ask for directions, and someone just points you in like the general vicinity. And after a bit of time, you find the broken thorn, and it has like a little sign in front of it. And just gonna switch maps here. I hope this is actually visible and not bugged out again.
Yes.
It is, yeah.
It is visible and not
Nice.
bugged out.
Yeah. I'm getting better at dynamic lighting. So yeah, going from the outside, you can see it's a wooden building. Like in contrast to most of the building around you, it is entirely wooden. And just looking into it from the sides, you can see a couple patrons in there, a couple dwarves, and a couple humans, 1 or 2 halflings, and on the side corner, 3 individuals completely just dressed in like green robes, like either from bright to a bit of darker shades of green. And behind the counter, you can see one older human male.
Okay. Just stroll straight inside, right up to the person that's at the counter, taking in the room.
Yeah, it is not super busy. Like the couple people that are there are like genuinely seem to have fun. Like the dwarves are playing some sort of card game, or like have a couple of cards and seemingly play with each other. And yeah, everyone has like a tankard standing in front of them, potentially filled with some liquid.
Okay. And she just encourages Sarren to come along with her.
I'll follow. I'm just looking around at everybody like, oh, what are they doing? What are they doing?
She says, stay close. It's possible that somebody in here might take an interest in whatever monies you have upon you.
I pat my pouch. I said, I have money right here.
She says, yep, keep it close to you. And she just speaks to the keeper, saying, identifying who she is, and that she's 2 of the party, and they're there for accommodation.
Yes, the bar owner, like the seemingly bar owner, speaks up and says, like, yes, I'm Baron, and I manage this fine establishment. So you were saying you're with the Hand?
Yes.
And who are you?
I am Celes of the Order of Cattell. This is Sarren, and we're still waiting on Giya. I'm not sure if our new friend Quilby will be joining us or not.
And the Hand covers your stay?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm good.
We spoke with Feely about it this morning.
Following.
All right. And he just like kind of scribbles down something on the side and says, "All right. So what can I get you?"
Accommodation, please.
No, yeah, right. Kind of like turns around, and in one of the shelves you can like see a bunch of keys lying in there, just lying in there. And he picks one of them and turns around and hands it over to you. Says like, "All right, anything else?"
Is it just the one room, or will there be more?
You said you were still waiting on 2 others?
Yes.
Well, I suppose those will take the other room.
Okay. Just so that you can recognize them easier, one is a large turtle and the other is a small goblin. So.
All right.
They usually will
quite
be
unusual.
easy to see.
And he kind of like writes it down.
Okay. And she says, "Do you serve food?"
Yeah.
Just pipe up non-enchanted food?
Yes. Yeah, of course.
Could I have some of your house special, please?
All right, sure.
For the 2 of us, as she looks over to Sarren.
I just nod my head as long as it's not magical.
Keep it simple if you don't mind.
And he like he kind of like turns to the side and then turns back and says, "Any preferences?"
I like roast bird and vegetables.
I'll just take vegetables.
All right, all right. And he kind of like thinks for a second, and then shouts, "Kala, Kala, come over!" And you see from one of the tables to the right side, there is a human female with like kind of like curly blonde hair,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of like comes over and says like, "Yes, what is it?" He says like, "I will. Can you please give these to here? Some one of our large salads with fish." And he's like, and she's like, "Ah, right, sure." And goes around the corner and vanishes into a door behind the counter.
Okay.
And yeah, takes a bit.
Goes and takes a
And-
seat. Actually, takes a seat over here. There we go.
Right, sure. And
Luna sits on the windowsill.
do you also go over there, Sarren?
Yeah, I'll follow. I'm just kind of looking around at everything.
You occasionally, like a couple of people occasionally glance over at you, but it's just, I don't know, just like taking you in and getting a look over at you, and then kind of like focusing on talking again and whatever they were doing. And a couple minutes later, you can see the same human female Kala come back out from the backside and serve each of you a plate with like a large like with a lot of salads on there, and a couple pieces of like fried fish.
That works. Celes digs in, starts eating very happily.
I just like pick it up and slowly like nibble at it, looking around at everybody.
It doesn't seem like a lot of people pay you much mind. They're just going about their things.
And then we just wait for the others to show up.
Mm-hmm. So, as you're slowly just digging in, takes a while, then takes a bit of a longer while, and 2 or 3 people leave, and takes a bit longer. And then you see out of the corner of your eye a somewhat larger figure appear, and you quickly notice it's Giya, and yeah, Giya and Quilby, you arrive at the Broken Thorn.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that is the place.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Giya nods her head. Goes inside. Kind of looks around for the others.
I see her. I'm like waving, "We're over here!" Like across the, she's yelling.
Then
Yeah.
Ooh.
There's a couple people that just suddenly look up and look around. What happened? And yeah, just go back to what they were doing.
Okay.
I point at the food. "It's not enchanted. You're okay."
Head over to the table where they're sitting and take a seat. Myself. Nope.
Celes volunteers that she has one of the room keys. There's still a second. Just not sure if Giya wanted to share a room. Do you know if Quilby will be staying here? Did not know how long he wanted to tag along.
Giya shakes her head and kind of shrugs, like, I have no idea.
What's Quilby doing right now?
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm just scuttling along.
Well, we just finished having a meal. I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm ready to turn in for the night. Quilby, will you be staying or meeting up with us in the morning?
I'm just scratching my head. This
Um,
seems like a fine place. Well, so I suppose I should pay for my own room.
And from behind the counter, Baron walks over and says, I suppose these are your companions?
Yes.
All right. And he just like takes the key from out of his pocket and just hands it over to you. Just like, all right, I guess those will be the room for 2 more. And just hands you a second key.
And she takes the second key and she just puts it in Sarren's hand, paw, hoof. I don't really know. I'm guessing hand.
I have a hand, yes.
Okay. Puts it in your hand and says, "Here you are."
I take the key. I'm like, I just look at him like, I got my own room.
And the Baron adds the 2 rooms at the end of the corridor.
Thank you
And
very
just
much.
turns around and goes back to the counter.
So I guess you've set up the accommodation without us.
Well, the hand is volunteered to give us accommodation for those that are employed by them. I am curious, what's your interest in our venture, Quilby? You so far have done all this without any pay, and you seem to be spending more than you are earning.
That's
At this moment, Kala comes up and kind of like asks, can I get you something? Is everything all right?
Celes just remains quiet because she's already had some food and been waiting there for a while. Didn't know if the rest of them want to order or not.
yeah.
Kala just
Speaking
looks
of
about at one.
speaking of spending money,
I'll take some food. Giya says.
do you serve any wine?
And she kind of looks and says, yeah, we have some red wine.
So I would like some of that and a piece and a portion of roasted meat.
Sure, some meats and red wine, sure. And for you? She kind of like turns to Giya.
Vegetables. Just a
All
lot
right.
of vegetables would be
Sure.
good.
I hold up my vegetables. I said, they're really good.
All right, sure. Coming right up. And she turns around and meets Baron and kind of like says something to him. And she vanishes behind the door, behind the counter.
Incoming enchanted food.
Not again.
After a short while, Baron comes up with a pretty large tankard of red wine and sets it in front of you, Quilby.
Thank you very much. Much obliged.
And yeah, another short while passes.
So about your question, Celes. Let's say I'm looking for starting from the scratch because my previous career was, well, let's put it went in flames. As an artist.
Smart.
And don't usually picking this kind of job like investigation, but it might be very interesting. It might be a great material for, let's say, performance.
Well, the hand is often hiring. I'd recommend speaking with Feely tomorrow when we go back to the hand headquarters, as it is in this city. Perhaps she would be interested in offering you a contract as well.
We shall see about that.
At this point, Kala comes up to your table and sets down a large plate with salads and with different mixed salads in front of you, Giya, and one plate with roasted meats, kind of actually a variety of meats in front of you, Quilby, and says "All right, I hope that's fine."
Giya says, yes, thank you.
All right, sure. And kind of turns around a bit of a small sigh of relief and heads over to where Baron is.
Okay. That's pretty much it. I don't have much else for this evening besides just kind of retiring at this point. Did you have any problems locking up the mansion?
Nope.
Yeah. Same with the warehouse.
Yeah, speaking of the mansion, you forgot to mention something, Giya.
Nope.
Yes, you did.
Nope. No, I've said everything I want to say.
Was there more books?
Nope.
No, do you remember those tapestry?
Yes, it was a very pretty place, as Aaron put it.
Yeah,
Elven, I think.
it is no longer there.
Well,
Did the books eat it?
probably because we didn't lock the doors. I'm sure some vandals got in. Anyway, I think I'm going to retire for the evening.
Giya's just kind of munching on her veg.
He says, Giya, I'll leave the door unlocked if you wanted to join me later.
Okay.
Says, good night to the both of you. I'll see you in the morning.
So you make your way up the stairs into the quarters.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yep.
I think I can. Well, I'm gonna grab you and your owl.
Okay.
Owl is kind of like.
Hello.
The owl is kind of out of place. All right.
I said at the end of the hall, right?
Yep.
So, I'm gonna guess down here. So, I'm gonna go down there and try that door.
Yep.
Which, now that I think, in retrospect, Celes would have mentioned, end of the hall to you before we left.
Mm-hmm.
And she looks at the key and she looks at the door and sees if there's any identifying marks to link the two before she tries it.
Actually, no.
Okay, then she just tries the key.
Yep. And you can enter into the left.
Wait, to the left?
Yeah.
So
I'm just
this
gonna
way.
move you over. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought that was
a
door.
That
was
window.
a window. Okay.
All right. So the rest of you guys?
Yeah, I'll just eat a little more and then I'll follow Celes upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
Me either. There are much patrons in this inn.
As you entered, there were two more. You noticed a human couple being there. There is 3 dwarves sitting together, and then there is a group of females, like 3 females. They are all dressed in like these green robes, like brighter and darker green robes, and one of them has like next to her, leaned against the table, a long staff. But yeah, those are the patrons still in there. All right. Giya, you going to rest for the night?
Yes.
I'm also gonna like move you up the stairs.
Okay. Okay. So he said at the end of the hall.
And Sarren and Quilby, what are you doing?
I'm just sitting at the table, looking around. I don't need a lot of sleep anyway. And I put the key on the table, and I'm like, I guess it's just you and me, and I slide it over. I'm like, I don't know about you, but I only need like 4 hours of rest, so I'm okay.
Must be nice.
Yeah, must be really nice.
Okay, then if you want me to hold onto the key.
I just nod my head. I'm like, hey, can you play some of that music?
I just look about around the tower and like, yeah, can do. And I just take my.
You look around the tavern, and you also noticed when you entered, there was like a little stage up to the left side here. There is like a bit of an elevated platform. Yeah.
Is the owner or this in maid here somewhere?
Yeah, the owner of the bar is Baron, is behind the counter, and just keeping a lookout on things.
I'm just gonna get their attention and ask about the stage.
And like as you ask, he just turns to you and says, like, yes, we have a stage here. Do you wish to perform?
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Well, yeah, sure. And he just kind of gestures over.
I'm just getting my arse. I'm gonna sit on the ledge, take a couple whiles to tune my accordion, and I'm gonna start playing some shanties.
Sure. Give me a performance check.
Oh boy.
You just have
here comes
Sure,
the money.
sure.
What's the vocal cords and accordion playing of this little goblin?
Oh damn.
Above
Oh.
average.
First of all, still better than the second one.
Is it?
So yeah, you just play along, and occasionally people just look up and listen to what you're playing, and yeah, seems to lighten the mood a bit.
He's playing death metal though.
Yeah.
On his accordion.
Doot metal.
So yeah. Right. So yeah, you.
Yeah, I'm gonna make my way kind of down the hall. And then he said at the end of the hall, so I kind of like stop at this door. And I'm listening to see if I hear like Celes snoring or anything.
I mean, can you give me a perception check?
Sure.
If you hear anything inside. Nope. It's pretty silent.
I carefully try the handle. I think she's must be asleep, clearly, so I'm trying not to wake her, and so I try the handle of the door very slowly, like.
Mhm.
Hmm.
And it doesn't open.
Okay, begin to think I've got the wrong room. She did say she'd leave the door open for me.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe she meant this door.
And that door is indeed still a bit open.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I push it open.
I mean, if you've left it open. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd leave it open a crack. And you'd be
Mm.
seeing Celes taking her chainmail off.
Okay. Alright. And just kind of gently test the bed, see if it's total safe.
total safe.
Yes.
I mean, it gives a bit, so it's definitely taken in the weight, but it seems to hold up.
Okay. Just kind of flop on it then. And munch on some enchanted veg.
It tastes really great. Like it's really great.
Then I think about what the dude said and check my pockets. See if I've had anything nicked while I was under the influence.
Like you're just checking it and recounting everything. It seems fine.
Okay. Okay. Then.
Oh, you can actually just enter to the left if you want to
Okay.
enter.
Oh, thanks. Alright, cool. Does the room looks like... Oh, what can I see out the window?
You can see down, like the building itself is on a corner,
Okay.
and you can kind of like see down the street a bit, and you can like occasionally see a little bit of light in the houses, and yeah. But
Okay.
it seems to like tick into a bit later of the night and of the evening.
And you see
And
Luna sitting there looking out the window with you.
Okay.
ooh.
Alright, then yeah, pretty much just close the door behind me. If there's like a latch on the inside of it, then I'll turn that to lock it.
There actually isn't.
Okay. Then I'll take the chair and wedge it against the door.
You can certainly do that.
Okay. And yeah. Then go to sleep.
Celes, as you take your chainmail off and every like the armor in general and stuff, and you come across that thought, you should probably like the amulet you found. You should probably put that on.
Oh,
That
definitely.
might look really good.
Is there a mirror in the room?
There isn't.
Oh.
You can probably see you can probably see yourself a bit on the reflection of the glass, like
Yep.
just a little bit.
Totally do that then.
All right. So yeah, you take it out and put that on,
Mm-hmm.
and it looks really pretty.
And she puts it underneath her shirt.
Are you doing this like before I go to sleep?
Probably.
Are you doing this like sneakily?
Probably not.
Probably not.
I'll say, is that new?
She looks at it and she goes, I think so. Do you like it? And she pulls it back out of the shirt.
I don't know. Jewelry is not my area of expertise.
That's too bad. I think you'd look really good with some. Anyway.
Where did you get it?
Tucks it back in her shirt. Found it in a book.
And we've seen a lot of books. That doesn't really narrow it down.
I don't remember the book. Wait, let me see if she remembers the book. Whatever notes I wrote down for it.
The book you had, like you pulled this out from?
Yeah, I didn't make any notes about the book that I pulled it out from.
Nope. Didn't I?
Since I don't recall the book. But it was folded in one. Kind of ruined the binding, honestly. It was rather disappointing that someone would do such a thing to a book. Let alone animate them, send them after us. But so anyway, I think I'll wear it.
So you found it at Fergus's place? Or at the warehouse?
I'm pretty sure, yes. No, at Fergus's place. Sorry, I didn't realize you'd said the other one. It was in the... it was in the cellar area, I believe.
I'm gonna kind of examine it a bit more closely.
And she actually looks a little bit happy that she's got interest in seeing this thing, so she pulls it out to show it to her.
I'm kind of frowning, though, as I'm looking at it.
Do you have some indigestion from the enchanted food? Are you okay?
I roll my eyes at you. I'd like to check that in the morning.
Okay. All right.
All right. So, Quilby and Sarren, how do you want to spend the rest of the evening or night?
I will play for the half of the evening and then go to sleep.
Mm.
I'm just down there laughing and like being silly, dancing and clapping.
You both can see it, like over time, the last few patrons just eventually leave the inn. And as the last few, the dwarves eventually also just drink up and pay and leave. And then it's only you and Sarren left. And, well, Baron and Kala eventually also left earlier.
Well, Quilby, I guess it's time for us to turn in.
Well, there's no other way.
You can just stay down there. Eventually Baron will get angry.
Who knows? Please leave.
Alright. Sarren, you're joining Quilby or are you gonna stay?
Yeah.
Alright. Just gonna take a couple of steps up here and up here. So you just
I just
also,
like stop it, like listen at all the doors just because.
Alright. You're just gonna go around and listen to the doors in front of you. And,
Yeah.
Yep. Please give me a perception check. Alright. You like check the first door, you don't really hear anything. You check the second door, you hear like a faint bit of movement inside. But probably reckon that someone's sleeping and just turning around in bed or something. And yeah, on the end of the hallway, in the corner, you listen, you don't hear anything. And looking down the hallway, you can see Quilby standing in front of one of the doors.
But I was meant to try the key, if it fits.
Yep, the key fits, and the door opens.
Funny thing, it's the same key for all the doors.
Someone broke the code. Yeah, you can enter just one tile to the left.
So I'm doing that, and I'm gonna take the bed next to the window. And I'm tossing the key towards Sarren. And would you mind to close the door?
I just nod my head. I'll go and close the door and look and see if it will latch.
I didn't catch that, sorry.
See if it'll latch, if it'll lock.
Yeah, you can relock the door from inside as well.
Whoops.
I'll lock the door and then I'll just kind of, I guess, hop on the bed and just like sit there, you know, kind of like my legs crossed and just kind of goes off, I guess.
All right. So you all take your night's rest. Celes, during the night, you come to consciousness in a large, just field of grassland.
Okay.
The kind of like wind washing over you like waves, just like one gust after another, just a constant wind blowing. And kind of look around for a bit, and once you've been going through stuff, you can't see Giya around you, or really anyone else. It's just a nice scenery. It's just a forest in the distance. There's occasionally a bit of like wildlife deer running by. You can kind of like see it in the distance.
Mm-hmm.
And it's warm. You feel pretty good. And yeah, just a nice place. You kind of just like either just lie down and take in the nice outdoors.
Sounds good. I like this dream.
So you're just gonna what do you want to do?
I don't know. I mean, it's a dream. I'm in a forested area.
Yeah, you're just like in a somewhat like probably just like grassland, a bit hilly.
Mm-hmm. I guess just look around. Call to see if Luna is there.
Nope. Doesn't respond to you.
I just think that she must be off, you know, hunting some mice or something.
That thought sounds pretty convincing to you, and very yeah.
I guess I try to remember why I'm there or how I got there. What I'm wearing.
You're not wearing your usual armor. You're just like God damn it, I don't know what you wear under your armor. I don't know that English term. But you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Right. As you're like kind of thinking about like, oh, where am I, and so on, these thoughts just kind of slip away, and you just feel like a moment later you just feel at peace and feel like, yeah, this is nice. I just wanna explore this place. This is great here.
So I just start walking around.
And you just walk across the fields, and you can just hear birds chirping in the distance, just flying by on occasion. and you kind of like get close to a forest and just continue walking, get into the forest and kind of like hear the birds chirping echo through. And then the dream ends. And you wake up in the morning. And yeah, you actually wake up a bit earlier than Giya. And yeah, you're still in bed.
She mentally calls to Luna to come over to her, and she just makes a fuss of her while she lays in bed for a bit longer until Giya stirs. Because she knows if she starts trying to put her chainmail on, it'd probably wake Giya.
Yeah, Luna is right next to you.
That's about it. Wait till Giya wakes up, unless she's going to take a long time, you know, or too late into the day or something, in which case she would start to stir and put her chainmail on.
Well, it's still like kind of in the morning, kind of early in the morning, and you slept pretty well. Like you can't really recall dreaming.
I can or cannot?
You just felt like you slept really, really good.
Cool. I'm a fan of this. Good sleep is hard to come by.
Yeah, so it takes a while, and guess eventually Giya also wakes up.
Okay. Celes seems a bit brighter than usual and looking very well rested.
Okay.
Starts putting on her armor. And greets you.
Quilby, you also wake up, recognizing it's early morning. Still probably a bit too early for your tastes. Yeah, and I take it Sarren would still be awake? Not sure.
Yeah, I only have to sleep like 4 hours I didn't use any spell slots. So. I would just be sitting there on the bed staring at him, waiting for him to wake up.
With a big grin on her face.
Are you awake yet?
What?
The sun is out, the birds are singing. Let's go.
What? Where?
Downstairs to eat? I'm just gonna get up off the bed and I'm gonna go over and kind of just pick him up and carry him. Come on, let's go.
What?
Let's out a fart.
Giya,
Okay.
you lost those 5 temporary hit points again. All right.
I'm gonna use as soon as I'm kind of awake enough, I'm gonna check out that pendant, brooch, amulet. So I'm gonna use my class ability to see if that thing is magical.
Oh right, I forgot that I put that on last night. She pulls it out.
Yeah, you kind of like get a close look and detect magic on it, and it is also from enchantment.
I was so hoping for necromancy just for intrigue.
I say, maybe you shouldn't be wearing this.
It's fine.
No, I think you should put it away until you know what it does.
I don't know how hard I should be fighting this DM.
It really wants to stay on, and you really think it's a good idea that, like,
Okay.
you felt like this morning you felt like really good, and just remembering you put it on last night, it makes you think like, hey, this, like, so far it's been amazing. Like, you feel great.
Says, you know what? I never get to wear pretty things. I'm keeping it. And she puts it back under her shirt.
I go and stand in front of the door, out of the room. Just kind of plant my feet. And I'm basically going to block Celes' exit until she takes it off.
Are you saying as much or just...
Oh, I stand and I kind of glare at you.
Trying to imagine a turtle glare.
She kind of sets her jaw, pointy beak, like in your, you know, yeah, pointing directly at you, like, yeah.
So it says, all right, well, I'm sure you probably want more food. If you really like, we can pick up more of the enchanted stuff.
No.
Okay, well, we could just get some of the things here.
No.
Broken.
Take it off.
I'd really rather not.
Too bad. I think you're under its influence already.
Influence? It's an amulet.
It's a magical amulet. Take it off.
All it did was give me good dreams. I slept really well.
You don't know that.
No, I'm pretty sure it did give me good dreams.
You don't know that that's all it did. Apparently it's influencing you enough to make you not want to remove it.
I can take it off anytime I want.
Then do it.
I don't want to.
Well, guess we're going to be stuck here all day.
Do these windows open?
Yeah, those are like double-sided windows, so you can like take the little hinge off in the middle and open it up into like the two winged like windows.
So she.
Are we gonna hear them arguing out there? Because I carry Quilby out the door.
She proceeds to go to the window.
Hear arguing there. You're not really sure what they're arguing about, but you hear arguing.
She says, "There's multiple ways out, and I'll take this one if you'll not let me pass there."
I'm gonna try and grapple Celes.
Oh crap! Oh crap!
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
RNG.
Yeah. You can definitely do that.
Okay. Is it strength check or?
I think it's athletics.
Athletics versus, I believe, either my athletics or acrobatics.
Yeah, athletics versus the attacked athletics or acrobatics. Oh. Yeah, you slip through.
Let go of me! Stop it! Give you a hug later.
Go on then, out the window.
Well, as you're not blocking the door anymore, she'll try and just walk around you to go out the door instead. So I'd much rather take a dignified approach down to my breakfast, thank you. Now who's acting out of sorts?
I'll position myself. I'll try and like step between her and the door.
Since you went closer from the door towards Celes, there's a lot of space around you, so make 2 contested initiative checks.
Ooh.
If Celes can dash by or not.
My initiative sucks.
So does mine. Mine sucks more.
So Celes tries to like, you kind of keep an eye on Celes here, and you kind of notice Celes wanting to find an opening to get past you, but trying to dash past you, she just dashes straight into you.
Giya
So-
says, no.
Why are you being so difficult?
Why are
Just-
you being so stubborn?
It's fine.
So we open the door and come out. I'm like, what? Why are y'all yelling?
She has a
doesn't-
magical amulet that she's refusing to take off.
Whatever. She's not letting me get my breakfast.
So where did you get a magical amulet?
Oh.
Could you stop all this ruckus?
Just like hanging out in my arms, like I'm holding him like a baby. Just like
Celes
It was,
slowly starts.
very pleasant, but could you let me down?
oh, sorry. Here, I'll put you down. And...
I forgot you still have him in your arms. Walking in with a baby goblin.
So we should probably discuss this at breakfast.
I think that's one detail that we haven't mentioned to the hand.
Breakfast?
Celes just kind of like goes, breakfast?
No.
She's eaten enough enchanted food for one day, I guess.
What does that amulet do for you?
It gave me good dreams.
Won't let her take it off.
Oh,
Oh, that's not good at all.
It's cursed, clearly.
it's not cursed.
Then take it off.
I don't want to.
It's cursed.
Yeah, it's cursed. If you don't take it off in 7 days, you might die.
It's not like a tobacco addiction.
Your head's gonna fall off.
I'll grow a new one.
Alright, well, let's go to breakfast and we'll see what we can do at breakfast time.
I step aside.
Celes proceeds.
Can't trust you while you're wearing it. You know that, right?
Well, I can't trust you while I'm wearing it either, apparently.
I mean, she's a point if you... We're all walking... Are we walking downstairs at this point, arguing?
I think so, yeah.
I just.
Well, she has
I
a
just...
point. What if
I
you go
tried-
crazy in the middle of the night and try to kill her? You are sleeping in the same room.
That's a good
I
point.
tried.
I think I don't want to sleep in the same room anymore.
Giya, as Celes walks by, and you still have like, I think detect magic works for a while, right?
Yeah, it's like 10 minutes or something crazy.
It's a bit. Anyway, as Celes walks by, you get the feeling like this is like there's a pretty strong essence of magic behind this, and yeah.
Celes, you're an idiot.
Yeah, I would like to. Yeah, I would like to try to cast Hideous Laughter on Celes, pointing out that this amulet looks a little bit ridiculous.
Wisdom saving throw from Celes.
What happens when you keep secrets? Just saying.
Hang on. Spell save DC is 13.
Totally pass. Okay, so she is currently laughing on the ground in the hallway.
And wrong. Yeah, that's your opportunity.
Yep, so I will take that opportunity and try to grapple Celes with the idea of, like, I just want to pull the amulet off her neck, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, athletics.
So you're just
Or-
trying to rip the amulet off, or
Yeah.
Just, okay. Mm. you can't you can't really like rip it apart like the chain. So you give it one really strong tug, and you feel like it doesn't really give.
Okay.
So you're just like taking it off of Celes' head.
Yeah, I will. I'm gonna try and remove it any way I can, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And she's of course going to try and resist any way she can.
Yep. But well, grappling a
Is
prone
that-
creature. Does grappling a prone creature always succeed? I don't think so. You still have to make checks, right?
And you're incapacitated.
Yeah,
I am
she's
incapacitated, yeah.
Ah, right.
Which
Yeah.
Does it give you disadvantage on the?
incapacitated. Can't take actions or reactions.
So you actually
Right.
cannot resist me then.
Yeah, I don't think you can resist. So
I'm just clapping and jumping. Get it! Get it!
Yep.
So at best, she's like moving her head to try and avoid it, but not really succeeding at stopping.
Yeah.
it.
I would like to
laughing too
assist
Mhm.
Giya with my magic hand.
Yeah,
I
so I'm
to
just gonna,
try get the hold on the
lean
amulet.
over her head.
Mhm.
Stop! Stop squirming!
Yeah, after like a bit of fighting and a bit of laughing, the hilarious scene takes an end after like I think 1 minute. The hideous laughter ends, and the amulet is in your grasp, Giya.
Okay. I'm going to put it somewhere where I'm not touching it, like a pocket or like in my backpack or a pouch or something.
Maybe let me do this. I'm gonna have to grab this with the mage hand.
So what are you gonna do with it?
I'm not sure what exactly is this.
And
It's
then
like that is a nice piece of jewelry, but it is enchanted. But
I point at Celes and say, and how long is that gonna last?
Up to 1
laugh.
minute.
Yeah, 1 minute.
Can you?
Yeah, she'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
Can you stop that?
I wish I could. I just check on myself. Do you have any small bag or pouch?
I say yes, and I'm like putting the amulet in my pouch, like a pouch. We need to have this like checked out. Maybe the hand can help us with that.
True.
I just shake
Okay,
my head.
I'm
Why
just
would anybody...
poking. I'm just gonna poke Celes. You're right there.
I think
It's
at
like,
this
why
moment
would
you
anybody
still
take
be
anything?
laughing.
Like, why would anybody take anything from those horrible places?
I just look at the gear. Yeah, why would anyone will take something from that place?
I think Celes was compelled to take it.
What is Celes's feelings right now?
I don't know. You tell me.
No, I'm asking Hellfire.
Well, first of all, you're currently laughing, and so you're thinking it's super hilarious what they just did. Second of all,
I was meaning when I was done laughing, but
you just feel like something very important to you has been like forcibly taken from you. You're not really too sure what it was or what it is. But you feel like this is a big loss for you.
but I don't know that it's the amulet per se. I just know
You
I've
don't really
lost.
know it's the amulet. You just feel like you had a link to something.
Okay.
That it wasn't really bad. Like you felt pretty comfortable with it. It was pretty yeah, you felt just great. And yeah, now all of that what you just had was just taken from you. So that's pretty, like, you feel it's pretty bad, pretty terrible.
As I come out of the laughter. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So she cries out loud for Luna immediately. And Luna would appear next to her on the next round. And she would be somewhat in a panic and looking like she'd dropped something and just look really sad, but also a little bit panicked, like she's looking for something.
I say, look, it's for your own good.
What is? Where?
We need to talk to the hand, but you seem to want breakfast.
Sorry.
Do you want to? Are you still hungry?
I don't know. Maybe that's what I'm missing. No, that's just food. And she's like got Luna like totally wrapped up in her arms, and she's just like stroking her very rapidly.
I don't know. I'm not good with all that anymore.
She won't say anything. But she just keeps muttering like, where did I put what am I? And she's just kind of like looking, but she seems a bit lost as well as searching.
Giya will kind of put a hand on your back and like try to guide you forward a little bit.
She'll
Let's
easily
go
walk.
get some food.
And she'll continue on with Luna downstairs. Oops.
I take it you all are going downstairs?
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Gonna move across a bit. All right. As you come down the stairs, you are greeted with a pretty empty inn. You only see Baron again standing behind the counter, a little bit sleepy. You get the idea he didn't get too much sleep, but yeah, seems fine. And besides you, there is currently no one in the inn. And as you come down the stairs, he greets you and says, "Morning. Hope you slept well."
So Celes instantly says, "Did anybody turn anything in that was lost from last night?" I feel
And
like
he kind of looks shocked for a second. It's like, no.
She says, I left something. Thank you. And she just goes back to the table and continues stroking Luna. Oh, right. Could I have some simple porridge or something like that, please?
And he seems a bit like he's not really sure whatever happened.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's probably uncertain, like if something went wrong or something broke in his establishment. So he seems a bit confused what's going on.
So she.
But so it's like, yes, right away. For everyone.
And she's not even paying attention to him right now.
Just shake my head, I'm good.
Giya will nod. She's always up for food.
All right. And he disappears into the room behind the counter.
She sets
Boy,
Luna.
and I'm like, is she gonna be okay?
She sets Luna on the windowsill, and she just goes and holds her hand up, and the glaive appears in it, She goes, okay, it's not that. And she just sets that on the floor, against the wall, and it just starts sliding as it falls to the ground, and she summons her hand axe and goes, not that. Something else. And she just kind of drops that to the floor. And she just keeps looking around the room, like trying to think of something. Grabs Luna again and continues stroking.
So this goes on for a bit until eventually Vallen comes back with 2 bowls of porridge and a little bit of bread.
As he places it down, she says, no, that's not it.
And he just looks confused and it's like,
and she looks up at him and says, thank you, sorry. And she just keeps
all right.
looking lost in thought.
She looks genuinely confused and walks back behind the into the room. All right.
She has no appetite for the porridge.
I say, hurry up and eat. We have business.
All right, I'm done. Let's go. And she picks up the hand axe and tucks it in, and grabs the glaive off the ground, and says, yes. Let's go. And she seems a little more determined to get going.
All right. Guess the rest follows.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right. So
I'm kind of just keeping an eye on her.
So for travel purposes, I will just move back to the city map.
Okay.
And it is early in the morning. So from the docks area, you occasionally hear faint shouting. And you kind of like see a couple of carriages move by with a couple of crates on its just going through with a couple of crates. And it seems like generally very early morning. There isn't a lot of traffic going on. There aren't a lot of people around. And you make your way through the docks up to the Silver Road towards the office of the Hand. And you arrive after a bit of a walk in front of the building. And as you glance into it, you can see Feely standing on the counter and with one book open and just like reading through it.
She proceeds in and says, good morning, Feely. Do you have a pen I could use? Quill.
And Feely just like looks up and says like, yes.
She goes, I think I need to get this report written. It's driving me nuts.
Sure. And she kind of like pulls up a couple papers and quill and ink, and kind of like gestures to you to kind of like do stuff. Like just puts it on the counter.
And she writes the report of basically everything that everybody did.
In one go.
As well, she takes her time with it, but she starts writing out all the stuff out. But she leaves out the amulet.
All right.
So while Celes is doing that,
that takes a bit,
yeah, I'm gonna I'll wait till Celes is kind of settled down and occupied with writing that, and then I'm going to ask Feely if she knows of a way, or not a way, like a location within town, or perhaps somebody who could help us identify a magical item.
She thinks for a moment. probably. This would have been. And she kind of like goes through, kind of looks around and thinks for a moment, like, this, and turns towards you and says like, this would have been something not Feely, Furnace would have been good at. Kind of like chuckles a bit. She says, probably the best choice would be Celes. I'm gonna write that out for you,
Okay.
so
Thank
you
you.
don't have to. He runs a store, the Dragon's Scriptorium, down in Southgate. He should probably be able to help you a bit. If I might ask, what is this magic you're trying to find? What is this magic you're trying to identify?
It's an item that seems to have some enchantments on it.
Right. Any specifics on the item?
What did that amulet look like?
It was a. I have the description here. Star sapphire. In a gold inlay.
Yeah, it was a kind of like small, kind of like circle, golden circle with runes a bit carved on it, and then it was a kind of like fine golden mesh, in like filling out the circle, and in the center of the circle was a small star-shaped sapphire.
Okay, I describe it to her. Sorry.
She says like, I mean that's sounds intricate, but I mean, okay, doesn't ring a bell. Sure. Yeah, you might want to consider talk to Alice. Maybe he knows something.
Okay, thank you. I will do.
And Phil turns to Celes and says, excuse me, you might still have some keys.
Yes, here. She's like, is that? No, that's not it either. And she just kind of plonks them down on the counter.
All right. Phil takes the keys and puts it into her pocket.
And she finishes up. There you go. And she puts that down and she goes, something else.
And Phil takes the report and kind of looks through it. Yes. Very interesting. Books, you say, huh?
Yes.
And she kind of Philly leans over the report and says, so I notice your party has grown a bit since the last you've been here.
Says, yes, we've got Quilby here. Did you have that interest that we were discussing earlier, or? Well, here, Quilby, this is somebody that I Feely. Okay. Sorry, it took me a second. This is Feely. She's running the Order of the Hands here. And she just kind of like...
Feely looks down to Quilby and says like, yes, hello.
Pleasure to meet you.
The pleasure is mine.
Yeah, I would like to take part in this investigation.
Sure. And she says, like, well, judging by what I can skim from this a second, the investigation seems like, well, maybe a bit more interesting than the first report, but result is all the same so far. So, do you know? And she kind of like looks through the group. So, do you know where our member of the Guide Society went? And she just kind of like looks through you one after the other.
Celes says, I haven't come to any conclusions.
All right. So, I guess I will be waiting more than this report.
Yes.
Right? Right. And I hope you did not forget about the other part of your contract here.
What was it? That was to inspect the docks?
And she kind of like sighs a bit. So it's like, yes, you were also tasked to kind of keep an eye a bit on the general activity around the port and trade here. Well, and she kind of like goes on the book and kind of like pulls up a few pages and takes out one note that seems very quickly familiar to you, Celes. There was the note about the smuggled goods.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, well, apparently something slips through the cracks here and there. As you should be aware, weapons and other war items should not be imported through here unless the hand or otherwise the current emperor requested their delivery. For example, in trying to fight back whatever happens up there north from here. She kind of like puts the papers back into the, like, just like lies the paper back onto the book. Says, and, well, the hand takes a very critical role in trying to ensure that trade here follows the proper rules. So I expect you to kind of help us with this. And she kind of looks through you, like throughout your group.
Mm-hmm.
And she adds, well, I know that this isn't, well, very exciting, but it is one of the duties the hand must fulfill. So we are fortunately locked into this position. And she kind of sighs again.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I kind of hoped that we would get a lead onto Furnace, so all of this wouldn't need to be necessary anyway. And yeah, she kind of like just sighs and looks over the book and holds up the piece of paper again and says, well, I hope we can at least somewhat turn down a bit the criminal activity here. And she continues, there has also been recently a bit of vandalism here. Well, we couldn't really find out what it was yet. We have an idea. The vandalism here, it goes against seemingly shop owners that are dwarfs. We're not really sure why, nor do we really know what they want. So, if you might be so kind, while you're going about on your proper inspections on maybe trade carts or related, would you mind keeping an eye out whoever might plan to attack one of these establishments or shops?
Are there currently any suspects?
And she says again, well, nothing really comes to mind. We didn't really phrase it like this. We had a couple of cases, but we couldn't find out who was behind this. We tried to set up a trap, didn't work. So we are not sure. It might even be someone in our ranks who might have given away information about the trap. Though the cases are, the amount of cases are rising, so they are getting a bit more active and bold.
So the only dwarf shopkeepers are affected by this?
And he kind of looks from like Giya and Sarren down to Quilby and says, yes, so far those were the most common cases.
What kind of vandalism are you talking about? Somebody
and
just like scrapes in a wooden wall.
And
fat
she kind of like
dwarf or
goes back
something,
into the book and kind of goes a few pages forward, like towards the beginning of the book, and pulls out a couple pages that were just loosely tucked in there and hands them to you. The first one talks about one shop being completely wiped clean.
Oh.
So about broken windows, broken indoor, and seemingly all, if not most, valuables being removed. Also very violently, so shelves were destroyed, and general furniture being left in disarray. And she says, or like this, and hands you, and well, places another note in front of you that talks about pretty much a similar thing, where windows have been smashed and broken in. There was very little things being stolen. It was more just generally destroying whatever was inside the shop.
Okay.
And she hands you a couple more of these as well.
Okay.
So it seems that this has been very specific to those instances.
Okay.
And after she places like 6 of these notes in front of you, she just says like, and this is why we have to do something, I suppose. And takes all these pages back and puts them back into the book.
Are they centered anywhere specifically in the city?
Well, one of them was an instance on the Windforge, 3 of them in Southgate, 2 in the docks. So it doesn't seem to be centered. Or, well, not really, as far as we can tell. And she kind of like looks it over a bit of like sad or sigh.
Oops. Okay. Let's see.
So yeah, and she kind of closes the book. Says, well, any more questions?
What kind of investigation did you expect at the docks? Obviously, we're looking for smuggled goods. Is that it? We're just investigating for that type of activity?
And she kind of like thinks for a second. Well, you should be looking at some of the goods the ships bring in. And she kind of like reaches under the counter and kind of like looks down, seemingly fumbles through a couple things, and then pulls up a kind of like framed small note. And you can see a somewhat like golden emblem of the hand there. And then like a small golden line beneath it, official, as well as a signature. And says, well, this, and she hands it over to you, Celes. It says, well, you should just, well, kind of keep an eye on the port. If you notice anything suspicious, just stop whoever is doing it and have a look at the wares they're trying to move about. Stop carts and check their wares.
Okay.
And yes, please have a look at the other situation if that might be able to.
We'll see what we can
And
do.
she kind of looks a bit sad at the moment, feeling like something is going on and she can't really do much against it herself.
Mm-hmm. We'll do the best we can and report everything we find.
And she just sighs for a second and says, "All right."
Is the headquarters like fitted with like a prison or anything like that for criminals, or?
There is like one door behind the counter that where Erin goes, where you went, where you saw Erin going through, and then there is another door to the other side.
Okay.
But it doesn't really look like from first glance, it doesn't really look like there is a jail or anything per se.
Okay.
So this just seems like a probably bureaucratic building.
Celes would ask, let's say that we do find some illegal smuggling going on and we have parties in our custody. What should we do with them?
All right. She says, well, we have, thankfully now, one building specifically dedicated for such purposes down in the silver, like a few blocks down here.
Mm-hmm.
So, should you find yourself in possession of such individuals, try to reach out to me, and we will get those things arranged.
And if it's after hours?
Well, suppose you will have to keep them in custody a bit longer.
Okay.
You kind of get the idea that they are not super organized here. So even after yesterday, you weren't really able to reach out to anyone really.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of, the longer you're staying here, the longer you get the idea that probably a few people here have way too much work.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. Well then, I don't see any need to stay here any longer. Anyone else?
Nope.
And Felix just says, "All right, thank you for your time."
And Celes just does a nod and turns around.
And she just like looks on the counter for a second as you turn around, and just slowly goes back to her work.
Okay. Fireball.
All right.
No.
We're done
When
with
in
you,
doubt,
Philly.
fireball.
So,
All right.
Yeah. Celes, not having any interest in the previous conversation, would be interested in just heading back towards the docks to start investigations. Still feeling like she left the oven on.
I will ask Philly before we leave if she can kind of point me in the direction of the dragon scriptorium, like where that is located within the town.
And like you come back to her and she just like looks up and you ask and she says, well, that would be down in the south gate. It shouldn't be hard to miss. Probably if you ask about a bit, they should give you proper directions there.
Or you
it's
could
very
just
far
tell me
down
now,
to the south.
the
South.
So
do you not know where it is?
I haven't been there myself, to be honest. It's fairly recent that Nellis has come to town. So, unfortunately, I haven't had the time to go there. Okay. As far as I know, they should be close to Reed's Scrolls. Right. That is right next to the, or well, pretty close to the entrance to the city near the south gate. So.
All right, probably somewhere around here.
I think our friend here, and I'm gesturing to Quilby, also was interested in an alchemist. Do you think there's one in the same area?
And she kind of like scratches her head. There should be one. Maybe if you look around the area, you should find one.
Okay.
She's like, I don't go into the south gate district.
I know, right?
It's kind of... we just don't go there. I hear about people there, but...
Alright.
It's part of the
I
non-enchanted
thank her
food area.
and exit with the group.
What you have the idea of is that it should be like somewhere down here.
Okay.
Like near the entrance of the city. And yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Womp. That's much better than like a third of the city.
Just wandering around. Does anybody know where this is?
Noah's.
Right.
All right. So with new knowledge of things to come, I think this might be a good place to end it for today.
Okie dokie.
Okay. Thank you.
And yeah.
Thank you very much. All right, folks. Tune in next time to find out if Celes will actually reclaim the One Ring. I mean, this amulet.
You're precious.
It's so precious. And we'll see you guys next time. Thanks again to Hellfire for the homebrew campaign and to the players. We'll see you all then. Bye.
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 Bye.